Now, national Democrats, specifically the House Democrats, are focusing on 26 seats held by Republicans this year through their so-called Red to Blue program, which provides campaigns with staff, training, and even fundraising support. Now, one of the seats in their crosshairs is Virginia's 1st congressional district. You can see it right there on the map. It has been represented by Republican Rob Wittman since 2007. It's in eastern Virginia and includes the suburbs of Richmond and the historic triangle of Jamestown, Williamsburg, and Yorktown. Now, voters in the 1st district have gone for Republicans in the most recent elections, but also voted narrowly for Democratic Governor Abigail Spanberger last year. 7 Democrats are now running in the primary, and voters will make their choice on August 4th. National Democrats are backing Shannon Taylor, the Commonwealth's attorney for Henrico County since 2012. Taylor's campaign emphasizes her record as a prosecutor fighting the opioid epidemic and standing up for abortion rights. Taylor also points to her record of winning in a purple district as the reason she could be the one to flip Virginia's first. Well, joining me now on set is Shannon Taylor. She's, again, the Commonwealth's attorney in Henrico County, and she's running in the 1st congressional district. Thank you for joining us this evening. I want to start with this clip of Congressman Wittman. This is from last month. Some of our viewers may remember this. Take a listen.
Congressman, what is Mike Johnson's secret plan to cut Social Security?
Hey, how you doing? I'm good. I'm good with that. Yeah, I'll be there in just a few minutes.
No response, sir?
I'm heading your way right now. Yeah, it's over at 416.
Congressman, what is Mike Johnson's secret plan to cut Social Security?
I'm giving the pretend phone call a D, and I'm giving the staffer an F who did not remember to at least tell him to dial a real number.
That's right.
What is your case against Congressman Wittman? I feel like the Social Security piece is not just specific to Virginia. It's an issue all across the country, but it was notable that he didn't want to talk about it.
Well, that behavior right there is why we are going to hold Rob Wittman accountable for his actions that have been recently through the 1st congressional district. You know, as a prosecutor, my job is to make sure that I'm keeping people safe, and I want to hold people accountable for their actions. And what we're going to do here is we're going to hold Rob Wittman accountable for his actions. You know, the corruption in D.C. has allowed people like Rob Wittman to use the system to self-enrich and not allow people like me or you to make our way through this. And so when you see someone like Rob Wittman avoiding the questions, we're going to make sure that the voters know about how he's been self-enriching himself while he's been in Congress, while he's been stock trading over $2 million, why, he passed that budget bill and taking money out of our pockets, but he gave himself one of the biggest tax breaks. So we're going to make sure that people know exactly what Rob Wittman's about, his betrayal and the lies that he's been serving for us in the 1st congressional district.
You know, I'm, the former campaign strategist in me, is obsessed with how primary candidates build a coalition. Your coalition is going to be very different than a coalition of someone who's running in Northern Virginia and like Alexandria or whatnot. So have you heard from a lot of Republicans in the 1st congressional district that say, hey, I'm actually tired of Rob Wittman. I'm interested in what you're saying. What is your strategy to put a coalition together?
Absolutely. Being out there in this district, it's a large district from the suburbs in my county where I'm the top prosecutor to the northern neck of this district. People are sick and tired of the corruption in D.C. They're sick and tired of why the corruption is the root of the problem for why prices are up. And they want someone who's going to be held accountable and someone they can trust. When I won my first race in 2011, I flipped a seat from red to blue and then have had successful re-elections since that time with the support of independents and Republicans. So we know that when we're out there talking to people, if you're a Democrat or an independent or Republican, you're hurting right now because of the high costs. And Rob Wittman is to blame for that.
You have also criticized Congressman Wittman for holding stock in military contractors while also shaping military policy. If elected, will you support a ban on congressional stock trading, as has been proposed by some members currently in the caucus?
Absolutely. I actually came up with an anti-corruption agenda that was banning stocks. I want term limits. I want there to be a ban on going from Congress to lobbying firms. The idea that people can't trust their elected leaders because right now there's a system in D.C. that works for people like Rob Wittman, but is not working for us. That corruption is what we want to get rid of. And these, tactics of banning stock and term limits will hopefully endeavor that. This is a very competitive race. I'm not taking any corporate PAC money for this race, and I certainly hope that, knowing that it's a tipping point, that people want to join us and go to my website at ShannonTaylorVA.com.
Right now there is this, as I'm sure you are aware of, this ongoing conversation as to how Democrats can win back Congress, the House, also the United States Senate, and whether it's by moving to the left, being a little centrist, moving to the right. Is it independent voters that need to be grabbed? Republican voters? Do you triple down on the base? What is your view on this, and how would you describe yourself?
Well, I'm a prosecutor. I've been the top prosecutor for my county for the last almost 15 years. And when I know that my job every day is to make sure that my community's safe, that resonates with everybody. Everybody wants a safe place to live, a safe place to work, a safe place to send their children to school. So when we're out there and talking about why costs are high and why Republicans like Rob Wittman are not doing their job, I want to give people a choice, an option.
It's so interesting. I used to work for a prosecutor. So you said you're a prosecutor. So do you reject the labeling? Do you reject the moderate, centrist, progressive labels that have been, thrown around in the Democratic Party as of late?
Well, I need to make sure that what I'm doing is following the law, following the Constitution. And that means making sure that when I wake up every morning, I'm supposed to be guided by what is the right thing to do. And that doesn't have a label.
All right. Shannon Taylor, thank you. A prosecutor, ladies and gentlemen.